Hello, everyone. How are you? Hopefully, you enjoyed your 4th of July weekend. I know over around on my side of parts of town, people are definitely enjoying it. Um, yeah, I've definitely been having some fun out here. Even just now, as I was cooking dinner, hence why I'm a little late, which I figured I probably was going to be. That's why I said about 9:30 ish, 9:30, 10ish o'clock. Um, They were out there popping fireworks then. And it's probably just gonna keep going until August. I don't know. They said from 4th of July onwards, baby, it's we celebrating independence here in America. But neither here nor there. As you see by the title, I can't even say the thumbnail because I didn't even prepare a thumbnail. As you can see by the title, today I want to go over a few um things that's kind of been popping up in my For You pages, my FYP, as some people would say it, or just pressing matters that's been going on. And one of the big ones for me right now, well, I would say two of the big ones, is that people are concerned that Mitch McConnell's team is hiding that there is something seriously wrong with him. But my thing is, are we surprised? We knew they were hiding something when the man was freezing up, and they were deflecting questions for him. Didn't he almost have a fainting episode or something when he during a conference? Like he has kind of been treading along for quite some time now. And then this is also just kind of reading I have done in the past. I believe it was, what was her name? Was Feinstein. I think she was a senator from California, very old. There was we was seeing her being wheeled in and out, and we knew very much that her campaign manager essentially was the one that was kind of like running the show. Her and Nancy Pelosi was kind of like the ones that kind of was propping her up and having to run the show, and it kind of left the Democratic Party in some harrowing positions, and we're kind of seeing that being repeated now with Mitch McConnell. But with the current administration that we have in right now, they're kind of playing it to where it will be in their favor, and them kind of like hiding what's going on with his health, in hopes of like some kind of runoff election or something changing in regards for who Trump may want to be in Mitch McConnell's position. Because if you also don't know, Mitch McConnell, is he the senator of, I don't think it's Kentucky, is it? Maybe it is Kentucky. I think he's a senator of Kentucky, and he has been one of the loud advocates going up and challenging Trump. He was also one of the ones that was kind of like loud and proud going up against Obama as well. And so to kind of see him go like this is, if you ask me, it's fitting. Some people will probably say, it's sad. There's also been additional information in regards to Mitch McConnell's wife apparently fleeing the country, fleeing the country. Okay, to go back to China in order to avoid making any kind of like health decisions in regards to him, so they can kind of like spread this out, because I'm pretty sure they're supposed to have like some special runoff election in August, or is it September? One of those. So I really want to kind of get into that one. And then the other one was Nolan Wells. He was a teen who went on a trip with his friends. They went to an island. I don't know all the particulars because I kind of just been avoiding, again, with some of the other recent incidents that's happened this summer. I just kind of been like avoiding traumatizing headlines in regards to kind of like these young black teen boys that are just kind of like facing these harrowing experiences, and people are just kind of like left bewildered as to what has happened to them and what was the lead up to it. And some people are really pretty much comparing Nolan Wells to that lady who, oh, I know this was some time ago, but she went on a camping trip, I think it was, with like her girlfriends or her sorority sisters, and all the rest of the women were fine. All the rest of the women were white, but she, the sole black woman who was there in the vicinity, she didn't come back. And there's still like mystery and like hurt still surrounding her death. And then we have this whole thing with Nolan Wells coming up as well, where, it looks like he went out with some friends to an island. Everybody else seemed to have come back fine and dandy, but he's the only one that seems to have been missing. So those are the two big pressing ones. And then to kind of like sprinkle in some more lighthearted, fun topics, I wanted to talk about two particular Nepo babies that have kind of been taking up the news right now, at least in my news feed. I don't know about you all's. Um, in my news feed, which is Northwest and Zoe Kravitz. I think more people are probably more aware of the Northwest situation in regards to her 13th birthday, I think was recently, and her kind of like going on tour with, is it Stunna Cindy? I forget. And people are concerned on whether like Kim and Kanye are even involved in Northwest's life. What's going on with her? Why is she kind of like, why is Northwest in particular kind of leaning into this like alternative e-girl punk rock look? Where is she kind of like in the headspace? I know the big commentary is kind of like, not North, Kanye West is so worried about what Jay-Z and Beyonce's children are doing when he needs to be worried and concentrated on his own. So that was one thing there. And then the other one is Zoe Kravitz. I can get into a whole line of things when it comes to Zoe Kravitz. It seems like every year she is getting engaged. I hear recently she's engaged to Harry Styles. Before that, she was engaged to, oh my God, who is that guy from um Channing Tatum? Before that, I think she was engaged to some. Was he a sports guy? I think it was somebody in sports. Before that, she was engaged to some drummer, I think. I think she was married for a short second, maybe for a year. Like it seems like she is like always in some stuff. Some of the other big things in regards to Zoe Kravitz, where I kind of wanted to do a reading on her, is that people are just kind of like, what is going on with her in regards to kind of like some of the commentary she has made in regards to the Smith family. When I mean the Smith family, I mean Will, Jada Smith, Jaden, and Willow Smith. Just kind of like some of the weird things she has said in relation to them, and just kind of like how she just seems to be maneuvering very weird lately. So I kind of want to kind of get into a little light reading on that. Maybe I'll read on her and Harry Styles relationship as well. But that was the topics I wanted to kind of get into. Let me make sure my, yeah, up here. Um, okay. So with all that being said, I do want to issue a few disclaimers. Now that you kind of know where my headspace is, why I was interested in doing these readings, I do want you to know if this is your first time coming to my channel, hello, welcome. Thanks for joining me. My name is I did change it so many times. Majin, and this is Lotus Scopes. I use tarot to kind of get into little trending hot topics that you kind of see, or topics of interest to me. But with that being said, because of the medium I use, which is tarot cards, most people know tarot cards, Lenormand cards, or if it's what's the other one, the Marseille cards, whatever they are, Toth, I use cartomancy for the long and short of it. I use a lot of cartomancy for this channel in particular when I'm doing these readings, to kind of get into a meditative state, to pick up on any intuitive hits on the subject matters that I am reading on. So with that being said, these are liable to be wrong. I am not 100% on this. It is just pure speculation. It is for entertainment purpose. Alleged. I'm not saying any actual, okay, in any parts. That is for you to decide once you get through the reading, and you let me know what you think. Okay, I'll leave it up to you. I'm just telling you what it is. I'm the messenger. Don't shoot the messenger. Okay. So as long as we have that understanding on the table, we understand that. I will proceed forward with this reading. If there are any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. If there are any tidbits you would like to add to the reading that I'm getting, please feel free to drop it in the chat as well. Because I like this to kind of be an interactive thing. It's not just me reading cards to you and telling you that's exactly what it is. Let's talk about it. And I'm only human, so my purview on certain things are limited because there's only certain amount of things that I'm getting. I do try to go into these readings as blind as possible, so I want to apologize ahead of time if there is something that I pick up on that is maybe you're well informed on, or maybe the public is well informed of. Again, I just try to go into these as blind as possible to get as real of a reading as possible, or as close of a reading as possible as I can get without being like unknowingly influenced by what I've read or seen. So with that being said, I'm going to shuffle these cards here. And the first thing we're going to get into is the Mitch McConnell situation, because I think that is the bigger topic for me tonight in regards to what's going on with him. Oh, I was saying to myself I wanted one more card, and I got two. So let's see what it is. Okay. So, first card first that I get from Mitch McConnell is the birds coming up in reverse. No, you guys, we're not talking about the Urban Dictionary term when it comes to birds. Birds in this context means exactly what we've kind of been seeing: a lack of communication. People are kind of selling off any kind of back and forth that's going on in regards to Mitch McConnell. There kind of seems like it's a airtight, I want to say, chain of command when it comes to Mitch McConnell and his team in regards to like who comes in, what goes out, any kind of leaks that could be coming up. The birds deal with, communication of all kinds, whether it's internet, it's phone, it's, email, if it's, um, word, mouth to mouth. It's communication of all kinds is coming here. We also do have the anchor coming up here, and this is also coming up in reverse. Yeah, I mean, it is huge in the military, but yeah, I feel like that's kind of like the energy I'm getting there when it comes to Mitch McConnell in regards to communication. It's very much like a tight chain of command. Who leads who has, who has control or power over this or this or that. It seems like it's very much running a tight ship. No pun intended, because we have the anchor here, but this is also saying like things are kind of slowing down, being stagnant. There's some kind of standstill here. There is a I kind of want to say, like, if you know tarot, this is kind of giving me more so of like the chariot energy, in regards to kind of like what next steps are we do. This kind of does feel more so along the lines of military or bureaucratic. Again, I'm not surprised because we're dealing with Mitch McConnell, somebody who is very important in our Senate here in the U.S. I do also see the stars here. I do think that means that there is some bad news. I don't want to say it's in regards to kind of like, oh, Mitch McConnell has passed away or anything like that. I want to be reserved on giving that statement. But I do think it is again, bad news in regards to his health, and they are kind of like, well, what they call it, like um, well, I want to say like a freezing hold or something like that. Like, what do we do next? We have to run through all of our options. We have to run through what all of the different fallout and statistics and matters and stuff like that that could fall out, the repercussions that could fall out from this, and then we can go from there. Like, we have to run through every scenario and situation and try to control the narrative in every regard, in regards to what could be, and so how the republic and stuff like that, how the government is going to react in regards to this bad news with Mitch McConnell's health. And at this point, I'm just kind of like, I don't understand, because we've been known for what, 2 years at least, that something is seriously wrong with Mitch McConnell's health. So, Miss McConnell, I'm gonna end up saying calling him that a lot. Anyways, and then we also have the writer. Again, this is in regards to kind of messenger information under lock and key, is very tight. Which again, we see that playing out right now in regards to kind of like his office, his administration being very tight-lipped in regards to what's going on with Mitch McConnell's health. Who was the emergency call for? Is he okay? Will we be seeing him anytime soon? What is his kind of like capabilities that he is like in charge of right now in regards to his health? Like, we're not hearing anything in that regard. I do also want to look at the underlying energy. I am getting the clover. That's usually dealing with good luck. You know, it's coming up in reverse. Moon, dealing with secrets, things being hidden. This is also sometimes dealing with motherly energy. But if you ask me, with this coming up like this, and in regards to the topic that we're talking about, this is a lot of secrecy. Things being hidden. And then we also have Tree, his family. So again, as I mentioned earlier, oh, okay, I can make this up. The other card that comes up underneath is the lady. As I mentioned earlier at the top of this, in regards to Mitch McConnell, the Tree deals with family, and his wife, as far as we know, is not in the country. She has, what some people would like to say, have fled the country. We don't know if she actually fled the country or what's going on in that regard, but I have heard, and you let me know if you have heard something different, that she is in China right now, and some people are saying and accusing her that she probably went to China to avoid making any kind of decisions, pulling the plug or anything like that in regards to his health. Maybe even having some plausible deniability in what is going on. And again, we do have the lady coming up here in reverse. For all we know, was his wife involved in what was going on? And they're trying to keep it secret? I mean, let me get this cards. Let me get these. Let me see what else is going to come out here. I do kind of think I am picking up on some kind of like nervous energy. I don't know who this is coming from, but I do pick up on like some nervous energy, some anxiety around the whole Mitch McConnell situation, which would make sense if, you know, what we speculate is going on is actually taking place. And in this regard, I don't think this is meaning the heir as in, you know, any potential offspring that Mitch McConnell has. I think this is literally, it's, you know, it's a crown, it's ruling, it's leadership. I think this is literally talking about who is supposed to take place, who is supposed to pick up the mantle, who is supposed to have the transfer of power in regards to in case Mitch McConnell is sick or incapacitated or he's down or he has passed or whatever the case may be, he's no longer able to, he's not in his full faculties to make decisions and things like that. I think this is more so what this is talking about with the heir. I don't think this is actually talking about his actual physical bloodline or offspring in that sense. But this card does says unseen potential and hesitation. And we are seeing a lot of hesitation. I think they're trying to be very careful in regards to who this news spills out to, when this news spills out, how it comes forward. Um, and I think they are very much watching everyone. Um, when it comes to his estate and things like that. Oh, interesting. I get the assassin card here. This is coming up with ruthlessness and conviction. Um, First and foremost, I don't think the literal meaning of assassin is exactly plays a role in regards to the whole Mitch McConnell health situation. But again, the word on here that jumps out is ruthlessness and conviction. Okay. To me, I think this is somebody is like they are whatever their moral or their understanding or their reasoning behind why they're making the choices and decisions that they're making in regards to Mitch McConnell and what's going on with his campaign and his administration, or well, I should say his staffers and things like that at this time. They they are convinced, totally convinced, that they're making the right decision in regards to what's going on. And I can't fault that person because I can only imagine trying to make those types of decisions for someone who is as powerful and influential as Mitch McConnell. And I'm kind of trying to hold everything together. I'm trying to keep this boat from sinking, and we still got oodles and noodles to go before we hit any kind of land, okay? And I'm steady sitting up here putting duct tape on this boat trying to keep us afloat. Again, I do also want to note that all of these cards are coming up in reverse, which is concerning to say the least. Because this next card is the Hound, okay? This is also coming up in reverse. And the Hound in this deck deals with loyalty, chains, and promises. Chains, huh? Remember we was just talking about chain of command? um, Promises and chains, loyalty. Did somebody break rank? Is that why they're kind of like hush loyalty? I mean, I feel like the other side of this could very we've kind of seen time and time again under the Trump administration. Maybe Trump's administration or somebody in his office and things like that are testing Mitch McConnell's aides and his to see how they're going to handle the situation, because I'm pretty sure they are very aware of what's been going on. You know how people in the office in the same workplace talk, but they may not provide it to the public. It's very much like, what happens in this house stays in this house kind of attitude. The underlying energy I'm getting here also coming up in reverse is the witch. This is experimentation and rebellion. Okay, the other underlying energy is the pilgrim, and this is dealing with opportunities and growth. Somebody is trying to keep something real tight, and I feel like somebody is being tested because they're ready to break the chain of command. They're ready to break out of whatever this secrecy hold is, this back and forth, this let's wait and see that's going on. So I think somebody is ready to kind of like break and make a run for it, or make, headway for themselves. And the last thing that I'm seeing here is the this is dealing with foundations and communities. Okay, this is also, again, the underlying energy when it comes to Mitch McConnell. I think the communities word here is very interesting because he does not just represent a community. He represents an entire state. He represents a good portion for how long he has held. Is it Kentucky? I think it's Kentucky. He has held them like under his thumb. Okay, I'm pretty sure Mitch McConnell has been the senator of Kentucky, uncontested too, I think, for like more than 30 years. I feel like it's been more than 30 years. Maybe it's been like 40 years. I feel like that's close to, but somebody can fact check me on that seriously because I don't know. I know it's been a long effing time. Okay. So I can only imagine how his constituents and stuff feel right now in regards to kind of like, hey, where is our, one of our leaders that we have elected, and we're not hearing anything in regards to kind of like his health and his situation. Now, I do want to dig into and see what comes up in regards to Mitch McConnell's wife. Like, what's going on with that situation? We know she has fled. We do have the stork here. The stork here can sometimes speak to travel. Sometimes it brings of gifts, good news, babies as well. But stork travel in this case in regards to them or in regards to her. I'm trying to see what's going on with Mitch McConnell's wife. Why isn't she here? Crossroads, making a decision. What do I do? We're kind of, again, is a lot of this is giving chariot energy. We're kind of stuck in a do I stay or do I go? We're kind of stuck here on in regards to what we do moving forward, where we go next. And then let's see what else I'm gonna get here for Mitch McConnell. What? Ooh, card popped up in my hand. Oh, that's interesting. We have the ring in reverse. I don't think I have to get too detailed in regards to this, but I will in case you all don't know. The ring deals with commitment. It does deal with marriages. And we're talking about Mitch McConnell and his wife, and the ring comes up in reverse. This could be a breaking of an engagement or an agreement or a marriage. I don't think it's a divorce, but more so where I'm leaning to with this, and I would say for those of Kentucky, I would hope I'm wrong, but there could be an end of a marriage, till death do us part. Social, what kind of social events is taking place here? Or is she at a social event? Is she looking for her next husband? I do also have the sun. It's not, everything is not sunny in Philadelphia. And then we have lilies. Oh, this is talking about apologies. Sometimes the lilies can also be talking about um, I want to say condolences as well with the lilies. Your little bouquet coming in here. Congrats, James. Does it look like the ring that I was holding up? Congrats on getting a ring. Hopefully it's really nice. Hello from Zambia. So yeah, I'm interested. Hold on, let's see what else in regards to what's going on with Mitch McConnell and his wife. What's the energy here with Mitch McConnell and his wife? Why isn't she here right now? Why is achievement or downfall here? Hmm? Okay, the other two cards that is coming out here, we have the Muse, which is dealing with generosity and naivety. And then I also have the Miser, stubbornness and inflexibility. Okay, can I throw another theory out there? I don't know if somebody has already said this too. Again, like I know this has come up. I haven't kept track of all of the things that has kind of come out. But in regards to Mitch McConnell and his health situation, are we sure him and his wife wasn't at some kind of odds with one another? Was, his deteriorating health, which is normal. I'm not like throwing tomatoes at her, saying she has to be burned at the stake. I understand how hard it can be to be a caretaker or somebody who was like losing their mental faculties, or who was going through dementia or anything like that. Because I do think there was some like mental stuff going on with Mitch McConnell, in my personal opinion. I'm wondering if there was a rift here between Mitch McConnell and his wife. During this time, and that's probably why she's not here in the country right now. Did she leave to kind of like get some distance in between the two? Did they kind of like have some kind of falling out? Was she no longer just kind of like feeling the relationship, or whatever the case may be? Some people say that in sickness and health when they say they vows, but some people don't always mean it. And to each his own. Because I don't, you never know what's going on in people relationships, but I do wonder what's going on here. Um, it does feel like some, I'll say, negative energy here in regards to him and his wife. I want to see if I can get any more here. I'm going to pull another deck. I want to see if I can get any more information before I close this out. Now, I had two cards really fast flip over in this deck, so you can see. I'm pulling them right now. It was Give Me Some Sugar, okay? And this is talking about hugs and kisses, pillow talking, bonds, someone's favorite. And then I also had Swing on the Front Porch. This is dealing with good times, slowing down, being in nature, and thankfulness. It sounds like baby girl needed a retreat. She needed a break. She don't care. Maybe that's who they're waiting on, for the wife to come back in before they say something, because she has been out of the country. Do we know what time she left? If she left soon after this whole situation with Mitch McConnell, fishy. If she left like sometime before, oh, here we go with that tree again. How's your mom and them? I wonder if she went to some conference or something, or she was off on a break and then all of this happened, and maybe somebody is trying to cover up that they weren't taking care of him and watching him while she was away, and she was trusting this person. Who knows? I want to speculate and throw a wide net here, because again, we don't have all of the information that's going on, and I'm not necessarily like picking up on what exactly is going on here, so I'm casting a wide net. Again, how's your mom and them? This is talking about your people, reaching out to your roots, connecting, reunion, foundations here. I wonder if there was something here in regards to her trying to reconnect with her family and her friends during this hard time with, her husband's deteriorating health. I wonder if that's what was going on with Mrs. McConnell. Is that why she's like unavailable and not answering right now? But yeah, I will say, I do think the health thing, I don't think that's too much of a stretch to say. Yeah, I'm expecting bad news in regards to Mitch McConnell's health. Yeah, I don't think there's no hiding that, for sure, when it comes to Mitch McConnell. And I think, I would say at the least, at a minimum, they're really waiting to see, waiting on his wife to come back before they can say and do anything. And I think they probably have to legally wait on his wife to do or say anything. So it may not be as nefarious as we think. It's just a lot of this is lining up on some shady stuff. But yeah. Okay, moving on from that, let's get into a light topic, shall we? Let's get a palette cleanser in here. And we're going to talk about some fun drama, okay, in regards to Northwest, okay? And I say fun because the girl is a teen. I'm not about to come down on her. If anything, I will come down on her parents. I'm not gonna go in on Northwest. She is a young girl trying to figure her way out in the world. So it is what it is. But I want to see what's going on with Northwest and how she feels, if she even has been seeing some of the stuff that's been going on the internet in regards to kind of like how people are talking so much and so horribly about her parents. And hi, I'm going to say 1961. I'm going to say that. Hi, 1961. Welcome, welcome. So I just kind of wanted to pull a few cards on that. That's going to be one of our palette cleansers here. So pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Let's see here. And again, I'm doing this reading, if you're just coming in, I'm doing this reading on Northwest because if you haven't seen, she kind of been on a whole tour. I didn't even know about this until, you know, people were saying, oh yeah, she's been doing a tour for her birthday and she's showing up with blue hair and all these piercings and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure some of them are fake, but who knows? I think some of it is just for fashion, but I wanted to get into this and see what comes up. Okay, so I had a lot just kind of blow out of my hand here, and I'm going to note 4 of the cards. I'm going to reshuffle to see if they come out, but one actually did come out in fall, and we do have Bear here. So I don't know if this is in regards to like maybe her parents are protective of her and her brand, or she's very protective of her parents and don't want anybody to talk about them. It's like, you know, um, it's one thing when I talk about my parents, it's another thing when the world or other people I don't even know are talking about my family and my parents. Um, some of the other cards that have fallen out. That again, these I'm gonna note and then I'm gonna reshuffle. We do have the Rider again. Um, I think maybe some of the information is being halted before it gets to her. But you know, it's only so much that they can catch before it gets to Northwest. I do think she sees some of the feedback in the commentary in regards to kind of like how she is maneuvering. Some of the big talk people are saying about her and her family and her parents and stuff like that. But then I think a lot of it, whether it's, you know, Kim, her father, her family, friends, whatever the case may be, the publicist, the nanny, whoever, they are kind of like trying to filter and shelter her from some of the stuff. And then I also have Coffin. Ooh. Something is over and done, that's dead, and the water is ended with a man. Is it her father? And then I also have Scythe being cut out. You know what? Because y'all can say what y'all want. Northwest is a miniature Kanye. Okay? For what we have seen, she is a daddy. She is her daddy's daughter for sure. Look like him and everything. I think this is just talking about her traveling and stuff right now. So maybe she is being sheltered for some of the stuff that's going on because she's on tour. Maybe she's having a lot of people kind of like watching and monitoring what she is receiving, what kind of news and information she's being fed. So it doesn't deter her from kind of like doing what she has set out to do, especially because she is such a young teenager and she has the parents that she have. I think maybe she is being awarded a bit more care in regards to kind of like, again, the internet information that is being sent her way. Hi, Mimosa. I like that name, Mimosa. And then we also have the Tower also coming up here. I think all of it is not going to keep her from seeing what's going on, though. Hollywood, you know, people talk. Whether it's online or it's to your face. I think one way or another it's gonna get to her. Yep, something about home is gonna get to her regardless. The Tower in this regard, when you talking about the Lenormand, it doesn't always speak to kind of like calamity, since most of the time the Tower speaks to institutions. And I think of Hollywood as an institution. I think of it as a business. I think of it as, you know, some kind of company. So that's why I'm saying, like, I don't think she's going to be sheltered from a lot of stuff that's going on. And I think this is in reference to Hollywood itself, kind of just like fame overall. Let's see if I can get one more card here in regards to Northwest. Ooh. Ooh, she does not have a loyal friend. Maybe somebody is sitting in the wings wanting to see her hurt. Um, or maybe it's a trustworthy family friend. Again, maybe it's a nanny. Who knows? It's somebody close, somebody that she trusts, that she leans on. And maybe they don't have her best interest at heart here. Mm. I mean, I can understand people. Some people wouldn't get to this. Some people don't understand. But I think unless you're somebody who has kind of like, you have seen some of the stuff that kids can do, and you like worked intimately with kids, or closely with kids, I should say, um, you would be like, why is this whole adult beefing with a kid? You must have not have experienced, you know. Um, Children with certain attitudes. And you like, ooh, you need to be taught a lesson. You're gonna be a tough cookie out here. The world's gonna break you in two. Okay, let's see here. It's raining cats and dogs. This is talking about temporary intensity. This too shall pass. Oh, is she already kind of like in the mindset, in the understanding of like, okay, y'all talk all this stuff now, but tomorrow it'll be over and done. I'll be back out here underneath the radar, kind of doing what I want to do anyway. And y'all gonna talk about the next big controversy or whatever that comes up with me, and I'm not gonna fucking care and move forward. I wonder if she already in that mindset. I mean, I kind of feel like good on her, but then at the same time, it's like that's kind of scary that already had to kind of like have that tough skin because of who your parents are, and who your family is too. I don't want to downplay the Kardashians here. So then I also get Kiss My Grits in regards to Northwest. And this is talking about no thank you, walk away, refusal, know your worth, self respect, and strength. I think it's understandable that this comes up in reverse. We're talking about a girl who is what, 13? Um, she's still learning, her self-respect. She's still learning how to, have her own strength and to walk away from stuff, or when to walk away from certain things. Certain fights you can't walk away from. You're gonna have to stand there and fight it out. So I think she's still, again, she's 13. She's probably still learning the wisdom in regards to when is the fight worth fighting, and when is it worth walking away from. I think, again, I think there are some things here that she has I don't think she has been sheltered away from all of it. And I think she has very much been blowing up and saying certain things. But I hope she's not saying it to the wrong person here with this dog car coming up in reverse. Because this is talking about an unloyal friend, somebody who is not to be trusted. So hopefully it's not, you know, it'll be a lesson for her. Hopefully people don't judge her too harshly, because again, the girl is 13. But hopefully she's not trusting the wrong person with like very personal details, or somebody probably didn't call her in a very like uh what they call it, like a cancel culture type of rant kind of thing. Hopefully it's not something like that here. But the other one I have that fell out for her is Aren't You Precious? Okay, and this is dealing with suffering fools, disdain. This is also talking about reading between the lines, displeasure, contempt. I wouldn't be surprised if she's leaning into a whole attitude of just like, F you, I'm gonna do what I want to do. I would not be surprised. Like, y'all have been talking about me and my family and my father and my mom since before I was even here, conception, okay? Like, yeah. Mm, Lazing around, loafing, inertia, non-response, and disinterest here. Bump on a log. I just don't feel like this energy is her. And I want to know where that's coming from. Bump on a log, lazing around. Maybe it's the disinterest, if anything. The disinterest will make sense for me. Her just kind of like feeling apathetic towards life and other people. I can see how she very much got to that point. Okay, remember I was mentioning earlier something about like maybe somebody is protecting her, because remember I got the bear card here. I think maybe somebody is protecting her for certain things that has been said and spreading about her online. Note that I get the holler here, and this is talking about again communication and things of that nature. And then I also have come to Jesus, which is talking about truthful communication, blunt, you know, hurtful honesty kind of thing. This is a heart to heart. The card that's coming up here, surrender, reconciliation. And I wonder if this is in regards to her father. I feel like this is about her father. Maybe it's about her parents, but I feel like it's more so about her father, and I don't know where that energy is coming from. Because again, I'm not privy to what's going on in our family's relationships. I'm not there. But I do wonder if that's in regards to her father. Hmm. So wait, let's see. Does she feel like... Okay, nope. I think I know where this is going, and I want to pull some cards to see if I am on the right track here before I start blabbing at the mouth. Oh, okay. Yeah, this is typical child attitude here. I do think there is some processing, I would say, of like her and of how she feel about her parents' relationship and where it is right now, and where they kind of leaves her in regards to her relationship to her father Kanye and her mother Kim. I think there's something that's coming up here with that. So in the last shuffle that I had, remember I got something about bump on the log and honest communication. One of the other cards that I got for the underlying energy was two peas in a pod, and that's usually talking about soulmates, resonance, companionship, that kind of energy. Two peas in a pod, and a light bulb kind of went off for me in regards to kind of like, is there something here where she feels, is she in some kind of like disagreement with her mom and dad not being together, or their respective partners or something like this is coming up here, which is understandable. The girl is 13. Like, I'm not gonna... I get it. A lot of us have probably been there before. But I also get the snake that's coming up here as well. So who does she not trust? This is talking about the institution again, and I really think this is about Hollywood. Maybe she's thinking more so about society. I don't know if maybe she's thinking about, her family, as the institution, but this is talking about something bigger. This is talking about what has molded and shaped her culturally. When you get the tower coming up here in the Lenormand specifically, and then I got book here with knowledge. What is she being informed of? What has she kind of like had a come to Jesus moment about? What has she had like a realization about that's kind of like shaping her attitude right now? And I think it is in regards to her parents. I'm not sure. Is this more so? Oh, maybe it is more so her mom, because that was the underlying card. The other underlying card here is stars. And then we also have Clover with luck. Okay, Northy, what are you trying to express here? What is this? What is this energy you're trying to express here in regards to your mom? Because if I just took this at face value, do you feel lucky that Kim is your mom? Um, do you feel lucky, or do you feel like she has afforded you awesome opportunities because of who your mom is? Like, what is this connection here with your mom? Do you wish for something more when it comes to your mom and her fame? I'm not sure what this is like pointing to here. Hold on, wait, let's see if I can get a clarifying card. Oops. This is funny. I get the air card for Northwest coming up. Um, Unseen potential and hesitation. What? This is some weird energy I'm getting about her and her mom. I don't know what this is. I asked for a clarifying card and I got more confused. Okay, and then I got a bunch of cards that just threw out here. They just kind of threw up. I have the Sailor, New Influences and Wanderlust. Again, this is going into that ship card I got for her earlier. I also have the Orator, and this is talking about communication and confidence. Does she not feel confident enough to express a thought or something to her mom? Which I call bush on, because I remember that clip of Northwest going on about her mom's dress and how it don't look right, or her being in the background talking about, you didn't really do that. Like, I find that hard to believe, but I don't know, maybe the real thing she wants to express to her mom, she don't feel comfortable to, or she's not being allowed to express it. I don't know. We do also have the twins here talking about self-protection and dual natures. That's kind of like the second time something dealing with like protection is coming up here. Um, but I can't follow that line of thought. I don't know what's going on with the protection here. Then we also have the adventurer. This is dealing with responsibility and expectations, also coming up here for Northwest. And then I also have the diviner, divine timing and evaluation is what that is lining up with. Girl, you are over the place. At least to me, it feels like you are all over the place. I don't know what this is. Of course, we get she's in a rebellious phase right now. I'm looking at the underlying energies to see if I'm going to get any more clarity. We also have the thief seizing the moment and selfishness. Okay, here's something I think that's coming up. I could be wrong, and I'm okay with that. I do think she is trying to experience for herself why her family has is so influenced by the power of fame and what all comes with fame and what does that mean. um why is it so addictive for people? Even though it can hurt you at the same time, I'm also interested in like why people, even though it can hurt you so much, people are so interested in still being a part of it and love it and strive so hard to work for it. Like, you see so many people trying to again, okay, I think this is her string of consciousness here. Like, I I feel like she's like, I've heard it so many times. I've kind of seen it. I've kind of understood. So many people have worked so hard, will give their left eyeball, whatever the case may be, to kind of like be in the position that I'm in. And I want to understand why. And I think that's kind of like the juncture she's in right now, if that makes sense. of just kind of like, I want to experience for myself, why is fame so addictive? Why do everybody strive for it? Why do people, risk so much for it, put so much away for it, bet everything on it? Like, I want to experience what that is. Why does fame make people feel so alive, and at the same time can make people feel so alone and dead at the same time? And I think that's a pretty deep thought for somebody who was 13. But these kids nowadays, they a different breed. And then I also have the vengeance card here, and this is overcoming slights in a choice. I think she is going to grow closer to somebody by going through this situation that she's going through, of just kind of like, again, I want to see why fame, why does this to people? What is it about fame that does this to people? Simple and clean. Is more so kind of like the energy I'm getting here. Again, somebody who has been born into the position that she's in. I'm not surprised she kind of had the deep thoughts that she have, and the experience that she has, to kind of like come to this conclusion of like, okay, well, let me go through it to see, what it is. Take me through that. Take me through there. I want to know. Makes sense to me. I don't know what else to say about that one. All right. Our next heavy topic for the night, before we get onto a lighter one. Okay, we're going to close out on a lighter one. But for now, we're going to focus in on Nolan Wells. Again, as I stated at the top of this video, and I'm going to reiterate it here before I get into the reading. I have been avoiding reading into any kind of like detail in regards to Nolan Wells and what was going on. I pretty much know the overall gist of it, because I try to go into these as blind as possible, which is that he was on a trip with a group of friends. They went to an island. The rest of his friends came back, and he has been missing. The last I heard, they discovered a body. They haven't come forth to confirm of whether or not it is Nolan. But I kind of want to see if I can get into a reading, pick up on any energy in regards to kind of like what was going on at the time, in hopes of I'm just going to be wholly honest here, not only just for my own curiosity, but also just to kind of see if maybe there's something that I pick up on that maybe could deliver some understanding to his family, to you, the viewers, etc. Because the other concern that I have for this, and I really, really, I really, really hope that this isn't going to be one of those cases where they kind of like, they tell us and whip us all up in defense and emotional turmoil of like this something that happened to this boy, and then there's no real proper investigation that takes place to kind of like provide an answer into what led up into these, his the moments leading up to the island and why he hasn't returned. I'm gonna hold out hope that maybe that he's still okay and that he'll be found, but we're gonna see. I'm gonna get into the cards, but yeah, that's the reason why I'm doing this. I'm gonna be honest again. I'm not gonna sit up here and lie to you and be like, oh, no, I'm doing this because I really think that I could help. I don't know if I'm really gonna help. I also do this for my own interest as well, and because of my own curiosity. So I'm not gonna lie to you about that. I just want to cleanse these cards really quickly. Okay. Hello, Boyd. I had a chunk of a little booklet fall out here. I do see house coming up here, so this is dealing with matters of the home. We also do have mice. These are concerns, worries, um, that's popping up with the mice. I also have a cloud, something that is being unseen, trepidation, those kind of things. And then I also see mountain, which is talking about a situation, a scenario, whatever the case may be, that is hard to overcome, understand, some kind of like conflict to work through here. Let's see what else. I'm just going to read those out loud and see which one has to actually stick here, because all of those fell out like that. So I want to note those energies. Okay, I keep getting booklets here for this situation, and I'm not surprised. Okay, so I have the fish here. Uh, okay, so this is talking about usually like a windfall, good fortune, money, abundance, those kind of things is usually what the fish is talking about here. We also have the lilies coming up reverse. Remember, I was saying sometimes this could speak to condolences or apologies, but this is coming up reverse. So who isn't providing their um confessions or apologies as necessary here? Then I have a man. Okay. Mice dealing with worries here. Stars. Something becoming known. A worry or a concern about some kind of apology or disagreement that becomes known. About a friend. Okay, interesting. Again, if I was to just read the cards like how I have it, I would be like, I would think this is something to deal with some kind of like money situation. Somebody spent some kind of money, somebody took some money, stole some money. Maybe somebody didn't wasn't forward or didn't come forward about some kind of financial situation here with the fish. Um, and so it led to some kind of disagreement or animosity or hurt feelings or something like that here with the lilies coming up in reverse. Of course, the man is exactly that, is dealing with a man. So it's not much you have to interpret with that. Which led into some other kind of like kerfuffle or worry or concern or something that's coming up here with the mice. Some kind of money or something that led to a disagreement. Somebody didn't apologize about it. Dealing with another individual that's going to be known here with the stars, and it's involving a close friend. That's what I would interpret it as, just looking at this as the cards are out here outright. Um oh, heart here is also coming up. Um Somebody you had a deep love or care for here, about a lady. Okay. Oh, trickster energy coming up here with the fox. Huh. Yep, definitely gonna need my oracle cards here. I always am so concerned when I do readings like this, because I always feel like the information that I'm being told is not reliable, and then just to come to find out later, like I'll be so on the nose, or I'll be like really close to what was going on. So I'm trying to just go with it for what I'm getting, but sometimes I feel like I'll be so off. Okay, let's get some more clarity here. Oh, should I just be reading the cards that I have? Because nothing else is wanting to fall now. Okay, let me read the cards that I have. Okay. I guess maybe I should read what I have. So I have the scholar, investigation, research. Of course, there should be investigation here. A young boy went out with his friends and hasn't come back. Okay, here we go. The thief. This is dealing with taking the moment, selfishness. That kind of explains the first four cards I'm getting here with the mice, the lilies, the fish, a man. What was going on here? Seizing a moment of selfishness. The enchanted. Ooh, remember I got this. Excuse me. Ooh, don't start doing that voice. Okay, remember I got this card earlier. Fox. I'm getting the enchanter here, and this is talking about trickery, deception. I really hope what I'm getting right now is not is not what happened. The spy master. This is dealing with knowledge and distrust. I'm going into the underlying energies now. The next card I have is the king. This is talking about control, reversal of fortune. What is it about money that keeps coming up in this Nolan Wills situation? What is it about money that keeps coming up? The catalyst, radical changes, taking control. What the... Okay, if I had to bet my last dollar, I do think some kind of currency, something dealing with wealth or money was definitely involved in this situation with Nolan Wills. I think, like, with most situations, they say most of the time, money can really influence and affect a relationship. I think that is something that very much is the case here when it comes to Nolan Wills and this friend group or whatever transpired on that island that caused him to not come back. I think something became aware or he became informed of over the course of this trip. Or maybe he knew beforehand and thought, oh, maybe we could talk about it during this trip or whatever the case may be, or something came to a head on this trip in regards to like some kind of financial money situation or something coming up here, and realizing like, oh, somebody isn't really my friend like they said it was, because if you were really my friend, there's no way you would be doing this and this and that with me, in regards to kind of like finances. I also don't know if there was something here with kind of like maybe money being used as some sort of control over Nolan in order to get him to do certain things or to be in the group or something like that. But I feel like something along those lines is coming up here, and I very much feel like there is a, I want to say Lord of the Flies type of energy, but I'm gonna um correct myself and say it feels more so like there very much feels like there's um a leader. There's very much one person or one guy who's like calling the shots and in control of the other people involved in this situation. He's very much like running point and running interference and telling people do as he say. Don't question me. I do think I do kind of get like head boss energy in this situation, in regards to kind of like what has transpired. I I want more cards. I need more cards, Oracle cards, um, to see what it is that I'm getting here. I do think somebody was kind of like being deceptive here in this friendship. And I'm gonna leave that open because it could have been Nolan and it could have been one of the guys. I don't know. I do feel like somebody was being deceptive here in this friendship. I'm not going to excuse it just because I want to feel for the victim. Now response, disinterest, loafing around, bum on a log. See, here we go. I get honey child. This is again dealing with abundance, growth, beginnings. Where I don't know how old these gentlemen were. Were they probably in conversations about starting some kind of business? I don't know. Were they gambling together or something? Like, what is this? Were they trying to put up money for some kind of business? Was they running some kind of like hustle? I don't know what this is. This energy that I'm picking up on. I want to me it feels more so like a hustle, but I don't know. Okay, so don't get your feathers ruffled. Inner calm, well-being, patience, deep breathing, compassion. Don't get your feathers ruffled. I think it's very clear that somebody is very much guilty. Again, I do think there is somebody in this situation when it comes to Nolan Wells who is like, um, hi Kesha. I am doing a reading on Nolan Wells. Earlier I did a reading on Northwest and Mitch McConnell. But right now I'm doing one on Nolan Wells. Now that you're coming in, just so you kind of can be up to speed. Um, Again, so with the Nolan Wells situation, I do think there's very much like a ringleader here, and I do think some people are kind of sweating bullets in regards to like what's gonna come out, what's going on. Why y'all doing that? Why y'all moving like this? I told you to do this. Like we all gotta have our story together. Like I do think there's something deceptive about this friendship. I don't think it's all hunky dory. Or above board here. I do think something is fishy going on in regards to kind of like if it's not the friend group itself, something about this whole trip, the whole going to the island thing feels fishy. Yeah, I don't know what again at the minimum of it, I think some kind of like hustle money situation, some business dealing, something like that is at the root of it. And I do think some kind of like betrayal or treachery stuff was going on here. Some deception was definitely happening. Some sleight of hand was taking place, and what we see right now is what is kind of like the results of it. Is it doesn't seem like it's been um going in the right direction. Um, let's see if I can get anything more. Okay, so something else I'm getting to, and this is why I said I feel like it's a hustle situation, like um that they were all in on or something like that. Maybe somebody didn't do their part, or somebody was getting a bit more money, or was getting ready to cut somebody out, or something like that. I I I'm kind of getting something here where it kind of feels like somebody was not pulling their weight. Somebody was not pulling their end of the bargain here. And they were still getting a fair share, or they were probably getting more because I don't know, maybe people like them or whatever the case may be, or maybe you came up with the plan, but we all are executing it. We was all supposed to get a fair cut. And it's something like that. It feels along the lines of that to me. Like maybe you had the what one person would deem as like the easier part in the hustle, or you didn't really have to do that much, almost like some personality hire type stuff, and you still seem to be getting paid more than me, or everybody likes you kind of thing, and I have a problem with that. It feels like they were in on some kind of like, again, hustle, some kind of business dealing here, and it kind of went south. See, if somebody does not feel sorry about it, they do not feel sorry about it. Like, I could care less. I feel how I feel. What happened happened. There, I don't know if there's like some form of dissociation going on here, or just like I'm gonna do whatever kind of confirmation bias I need to do to make myself feel better. But yeah, somebody is not feeling sorry about this. Shit, we do know they went out there on a boat. You know, if we was just blatantly reading this, but this again, this will also speak to some kind of travel situation going on here. Again, we know there's something that happened here. Okay, Rider came up like this. Okay. So what information is being blocked? Remember what I said at the top of this reading in regards to, like, I feel like there is a ringleader and they're very much trying to like control and watch what everybody is doing and saying. You do as I say, nobody make a move without me. You inform me of every little thing you do and say. Because we have to make sure this, you know, is airtight and everything lines up. Again, I would not, you would have to convince me otherwise that there's not some big ringleader in this whole situation. Because somebody is trying to, like, again, that loose lip sinks ships um, term is like coming to me right now. And that's what I'm getting with this writer here. Shut up. Stop socializing. Don't say anything. With the garden card here. I also get another man card as well. And so you all can see that. I also get another man card. And we know it was what, 4 boys? Yeah. No luck. With the clover coming up. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to say, that's what I'm going to, if I had to kind of like pinpoint one thing that I had to kind of like go away with this reading on with Nolan Wells, I think these 4 boys was in some kind of like business together, or some kind of, again, it feels more so along the line of some kind of like hustle that they had going on. And it feels like maybe somebody didn't pull their weight in the situation, or somebody feel like somebody part or whatever was unfair, and yet they were still getting an equal fair, or, you know, a bigger cut than they were. And they're, you know, once it came to you know, once the information came out, um you know, a big falling out, a big disagreement happened here. um I definitely would say something dealing with finances is definitely the root of this whole situation with Nolan Wells. And I wouldn't be surprised if some kind of like rug pulling was going on in regards to the whole situation, because somebody was not really a friend. Somebody was definitely not really a friend. I have the thief, I have the fox. Like, what was the other one I had here? Was that the trust? Distrust? What was it? Oh, here it is. Deception and trickery was the other one I also had. So I don't think there's much of a stretch to understand and see that what was going on here with Nolan Wells. I'm going to wait to see what else comes out about this. I'm going to try to keep up on kind of like the big information and reveals, or information that comes out about it. Because, yeah, I want to know what it is that I'm picking up on. Not so much to confirm or see if I was wrong or right, but I want to more so understand the energies that I'm picking up on in regards to kind of like the information that they reveal and discover as they go through this whole investigation with Nolan Wells. So, yeah, I am hoping that he is still okay. But I will say it does feel a little weird. But I do hope he's okay, because I would hate to see yet another person being with friends, or being with people they thought were friends, just for them not to come back at the end of the day. Okay, so lastly, the palette cleanser. As I said, we're going to end on a higher note than that. I don't want us to kind of like go up out of here with the, that heaviness on us. So I'm going to finish off this stream, okay, this reading here with Zoe Kravitz. So as we all know, your girl, because she y'all girl, she not my girl, she y'all girl, is dating Harry Styles. I believe they said they are engaged. I am going to pull some cards on that. I want to see what's going on with her because that's what the palette cleansers for tonight were, the Nepo babies. Okay, so we can get into that first because I know some people really wanted me to do a follow up in regards to my Harry Styles reading on what's kind of going on with Zoe and Harry Styles. So yeah, that's how I'm gonna end this off. And I'm gonna see what other energies I pick up on because, as I said before, she has been kind of saying some crazy stuff when it comes to the Smiths and other things. But let's start with the more fun one, shall we? Zoe Kravitz energy towards Harry Styles. Let's look into that first. Oop, nope. That was a whole book. Okay. I'm going to have to explain this one card to you all for sure because I'm going to tell you the energy that I was getting with this because I don't want you to think of it in some weird way. Even though we're talking about Zoe Kravitz, I don't want you all to think of it in some kind of like weird energy. Unless, that's what your discernment is telling you. But please share with the class how you got there. I need a dollar is all I need. Okay. So, first things first. So, I said I'm going to have to explain this now. I don't want you to think of this in a weird way. So the tree does typically deal with family, and again, the lilies is usually like apologies or condolences. But the energy I was speaking of for in regards to Zoe Kravitz energy towards Harry Styles is more like you're my kindred spirit. I feel like you're my spirit human. We are very much one and the same. We're two sides of the same coin kind of energy is more so what I was getting with this. Um, and then, funny enough, for Harry Styles energy here in regards to Zoe, I have House. So, again, if they are engaged, because I don't know, that's what I'm saying. If I haven't went and looked up if it was confirmed or not, so I'm saying if. So people hold your fist, okay? Don't punch me. I told you I try to go to this as blind as possible. Um, And then the other one I have here is mountain. So again, the house would make sense if they are engaged. It's, we're trying to start off a family, or maybe we've moved in and living together. House deals with like, again, your home life, your personal life here, which makes sense when it comes to Harry Styles and Zoe Kravitz. If again, it is confirmed that they are engaged. And then again with the mountain here, just because you move into somebody like, okay, let me explain this. Explain it this way. Um, you know how you can feel like somebody is your person and your other half and all these things, but maybe y'all start living together and there's certain quirks and stuff. You like, how did I not see that or pick up on that before? Um, it could be something along those lines. Kind of like, okay, maybe this is going to be a bit more of a challenge than I thought, or I'm looking forward to kind of like this challenge with this, with this relationship, with us being engaged, or whatever the case may be. So let's see what the energy I'm getting between these two. Ooh, that's a scary card to see. Y'all know what the stork mean. I ain't gonna explain that. All I'm saying is, if she winds up, what is Harry Styles fans called? Are they the Harrys? I don't know. Whatever they call themselves. The stylists, I don't know. They are going to be upset. I'm gonna log off. Because the amount of people who are gonna be trying to drag her for filth. Why would the lady come up here? Is there somebody ex in the situation, somebody who's not happy about this? Maybe it could be a friend in the wings. It's like, nah, girl, this ain't what you think it is. This is not what you need. I do have the stars, which is okay. You all have to go back and watch my Harry Styles reading. The stars just seem to just not line up for him, and they keep coming up in reverse every single time I seem to be doing a reading about this man. Y'all just gonna have to go back to my Harry Styles reading, okay? And see why I keep getting that. Because I expand on it more there. I do also get the moon here. I feel like I got something about this last time with Harry. I don't know what's going on with the motherly energy. Maybe it's some motherly wound. I always feel like it's some kind of some older lady that keeps coming into the picture every single time I do a reading on Harry. I don't know who this lady is. I'm so sorry to this lady. I don't know who she is, but she always seems to come up in my readings when I do a Harry Styles reading, and I'm assuming it's his mama, little child. I'm assuming his mama. If I had to stretch it would be somebody who was very influential to him, almost like along the lines of like a teacher, or I don't know, maybe a manager. I don't know what that is, but I feel like I always get that every single time I'm doing a reading on Harry. Okay, weird question. I don't think any of you all could answer it, but I'm just gonna put it out there to have the record show reflect. Do Zoe Kravitz remind him of this person? This older lady that I always seem to that he seems to hold so much admiration for, or he has feelings for, that maybe he hasn't gotten over. Does she kind of like remind him of this woman allegedly? Um, does she kind of give him like the next best thing? Does Zoe Kravitz kind of give him familiar feelings or something in regards to this lady? I'm not sure. I don't think any of you could answer that for me, but I do want to pose those questions because I do wonder if that's something that draws him to her. And the reason why he's interested in her is because like you remind me of this girl that I once knew. I wonder if that's the energy, like real talk. It's getting spicy in here. Okay, let's see. Let me see if I can get some more information here. What's the two cards I have here? Let me see one more. I get one more card here. Yep. Okay. Let me see. So first things first, I have there's more than one way to skin a cat. This is talking about a breakthrough. Then I also have give me some sugar. This is talking about hugs, kisses, adoration, bonding, someone's favorite. And then I also have if that ain't grits. I mean, if that ain't truth, grits ain't groceries. And this deal with believe it, trustworthiness, watch for signs of intuition, the real deal. I don't know. This whole thing to me, I don't want to judge nobody relationship, but this kind of feels something similar along the lines of what I was getting about the weekend and his current girlfriend. You can go back and you can watch my video title. I think it's the weekend's Grammy ritual. Um it's a clickbaity title. I'm not gonna hold you, but it's kind of giving me the energy about the weekend and the woman, that girl that he was dating, if he's still dating her now, of kind of like um this is a therapeutic relationship for me. I'm with you to kind of work through some things. I'm with you to kind of like I don't want to say feel something, but again, maybe it's like I'm with you to it's like my redemption relationship here, because again, you very much remind me. My theory is okay. This is all alleged from tape purposes only. Okay, I don't know these people, but my theory is that Harry Styles is dating Zoe Kravitz or engaged to her and so infatuated with her because she very much gives him the same energy or a reminder of this older woman, this woman from his past, this woman that he's so infatuated with. I'm not sure exactly which bubble, if not all three. um she very much reminds him of that person, and so dating her, being engaged to her, going out with her, gives him a sense of like I'm redeeming what went wrong in that relationship. I'm using you as kind of like a therapeutic exercise to prove like no, I really can be the good guy, the good boyfriend, or whatever the case may be here. That's more so what that feels like to me. It's funny, I'm trying to get more of Zoe's energy, but I feel like I'm picking up more so Harry's side of things. So that should just let you know where this is right now. That who is feeling this more strongly. Okay. um I'm like, Zoe, where are you? Hello. Knock knock, girl. Hey hey. And I'm not really getting her. And it's funny enough, one of his songs is like, it keeps playing up in my head. Like, what is the name of that song? It was As It Was. Like that song is playing. I'm gonna have to go look up them lyrics to see if there's maybe a deeper meaning to it. But that's kind of like the song that's playing right now as I'm going through it. So I keep hearing it. Dun, 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 dun. Overthinking, taking action with the Smith card here. Okay, so the three cards that popped out here for me, I have the Masquerade. This is hiding your true self, projection. Mm-hmm. Makes sense to me. I also have the Dancer, self-expression, strength. Makes more sense. Okay, yep. And then I also have the Merchant, self-worth, and trade. Yep. This all makes sense to me. Again, like I said earlier, this seems like a redemption. This is a retrial of a relationship that failed with the person that I wanted things to kind of work out with, the one that truly has my heart, and you are the next best thing. So let's see how this go. I'm gonna redeem and see you know how this plays out, what happens. I'm sorry, that's the energy I'm getting. If I'm wrong, so be it. But that's what I'm picking up on. See, look, investigation, research. This feels very much like Okay, last time, it feels like a telltale game. Last time I chose option B, so this time I'm going to choose option A and see where the storyline takes me and see what happens differently. Or last time I chose B, I really like that outcome, so I'm going to choose B again and see how this compares or what happens, what's the reaction I get from you, because that person did this, so let's see how you react or what happens with you. It feels like that. And then I also have the cartographer, a crossroads, exploration. Again, this feels very like a therapeutic shit to me. And then the guy, inheritance, correction is the word. Okay, word. Correction is the word. Okay. So yeah, I'm not really picking up on Zoe. I feel like I'm tapping more so into Harry. Um I don't think I need to reiterate it a third time. Good luck to y'all. Hopefully she's okay with it. She's down for a fun time. Because she'll probably be engaged to somebody else next year. Who knows? Or maybe this goes further than I expect. And we'll see. I'll be back here and read on it again to see what's gonna come up. But yeah, that's what I'm getting with that. With Harry Styles and Zoe Kravitz. I I don't think it's maybe some people want this to be, hearts and rainbows and sparkles and unicorns and stuff like that. And to me, this feels very like scientific method. It feels very much like I'm trying to redeem what went wrong or what faults I had in a previous relationship, and I want to see how it works out with you, because you're a very close prototype to the person that I wish things worked out with in that relationship. So, yeah. So all in all, everyone, that is the reading for the night. Again, feel free to go back through. We've covered, Mitch McConnell's health. We've covered uh Northwest, and kind of like how fame is, crunching down on her head right now. We've done a reading on Nolan Wills. I'm really going to be trying to pay close attention to that to see what comes forward, to see what energy it was that I was picking up on, and where I was kind of like maybe missing the mark in that reading. And then again, the lastly with our palette cleanser was the Zoe Kravitz and Harry Styles relationship that was going on here. So yeah. Let me know what you all think down in the comment section if you're coming and you're watching this on the replay. I thank you so much. Thank you all who have joined me tonight. Again, I know it was late, but I thank you for joining me, for watching, for giving me your attention, for giving me your likes. Make sure you all subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can see the next time I upload, because I pretty much upload sporadically. And I do plan to have another reading out for you all this week, in regards to kind of like the Tyler signing to Rock Nation thing. So let me know if you all are interested in that one too. With all of that being said, I'm wishing you all a great night, day, wherever you are. Many blessings, peace upon you. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.